Hello and welcome back to the On the Slab Horror Show, the show that we bring to you each and every Friday night. Why we do this on a Friday night? Because Friday night is horror night. And tonight you can see a man with a glorious beard and a better hairdo than most of the lads that show up on this show. This is director Mike Pesci. How are you, sir?
I'm good. Sounds like you're a little jealous of the beard and the hair.
Nah, my beard's normally down to about here, so I had to trim it up for the summer before we went away.
Yeah.
I think I might have died if I was over in that heat with my beard like that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm out here in Los Angeles with this beard, and it's definitely a choice. When it's hot
Yeah.
out, it's definitely a choice.
Walking around like Ron Burgundy going, it's hot out here.
Yeah.
It was a bad choice.
Yeah. But yeah, man,
Um,
I've always had it. It's been with me since I could grow.
yeah, I had my first shave the morning of my confirmation at 12 years old because I had like bits of stubble everywhere. But I've had my beard since I was about properly since I was about 15.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. Probably about the same for me. Yeah. It was
yeah,
just one of those things I grew up admiring people with beards, and I would read comic books with heroes with beards, and I always wanted a beard. And I grew it, and it's been here ever since. Sometimes it comes down a little short, but my chin hasn't seen the light of day in like 25 years or something like that. So who knows what's under there? Who knows what's in there?
nice. Now, another beard.
Hold on, you got a little choppy there. What did you say? I missed it.
Sorry, I said my wife has never seen me properly clean shaven, like with a razor,
Oh
and
yeah,
we're
don't
together 13 years.
don't do it. I had a friend that did that, cut his beard off, and he almost lost his relationship.
She realizes that you're not as good looking as she thinks you are.
Yeah, don't do it.
Uh, so, hey, welcome to the show. We've tried to line this one up for a while, but you're a busy man.
Yeah, it's been a pretty crazy year, been a busy year, but I'm happy we were able to line this up, man. It's just trying to find a little bit of time.
You know what Jeff Goldblum says: life finds a way.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Um, but yeah, welcome to the show. Obviously, we'll dive into a couple of your films in a few minutes. But why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got started in the business?
I started years ago. I decided that I wanted to be a director in my 20s, and there you go. Okay, how are we doing?
I know we're
You're a little choppy, and the recording stopped, and then it started again. Are you still going? Um, okay.
so much. Obviously, sorry about the little bit of interference there that Zoom decided to crucify me. But let me jump back in and why don't you tell us how you got started in the business?
So when I was a kid, I wanted to be a comic book artist, and so I spent a lot of time training on how to draw and do figure drawing and painting classes and all that. And when I graduated from high school, my grades were awful, and so I didn't get into art school. I got rejected from art school, and so I decided that I would go to work instead. And so I was working in a music store for years, and I was a manager for a music store. And then I loved that, and I decided that maybe I'd go into radio. And so I went to school for radio. And when I had my first late night radio show, the programmer came in and he was like, "Okay, at the top of the hour, you can play all the CDs that we've marked with a green sticker. At the bottom of the hour, you can play all the CDs that we've marked with a red sticker." And I said to him, like, "What the fuck am I doing here? Like, if I'm not, choosing
Why
the
not be a robot?
yeah, might as well." And this was back in like '99, so this was before Spotify. This was before any of that, and I kind of saw the future, and I'm like, I don't know, this job is going to go to extinct. Um, and so I just happened to be taking a film class at the same time. And I went and I watched Blade Runner for the first time, and I watched what else did I watch? Citizen Kane. There was a couple of other movies, and the teacher was like, "What did you think of the wardrobe? And what did you think of this?" And I know it. Everybody seems to be into how movies are made now, but back then this was before YouTube, so no one really was talking about how movies were made. And I kind of had this moment where it blew my mind, and I was like, "Man, this job directing is everything that I love about comic books and illustration and storytelling with that, and then everything I love about introducing people to new music." And um, so I jumped in head first, man. And I went to film school in New York. I produced and shot 3 short films while I was there. And then I came back home to Boston, and we just started making movies. And then I got into commercials and music videos and all of that. And that's been my life, man. I haven't had a real job. I haven't had like a real job in like 25 years, 26 years or something.
It's a real job.
Yeah, you know what I mean. I haven't had to punch in. I haven't had to like punch a time card in like, 26 years or 27 years, whatever it's been.
I bet you put more time into this than you would into a normal job, though.
It depends, life is up and down. The life of a freelancer is all over the place, and sometimes you do well, sometimes you make money, sometimes you don't. You can go months and months without work, especially when you decide that you're going to go full throttle into directing, and that's what you're going to do. It can take years for a movie to get off the ground, and you hear these stories of all these directors. Like Guillermo del Toro has infamous stories of, I think it's like 14 movies. Don't quote me, but I think it's like 12 or 14 movies that he has fully prepped that were never produced, and he spent all that time in his life just sort of building these movies to be made. So
he went on to be a half decent director anyway, didn't he?
yeah, I'm excited, man. We just heard that our new movie got into some festival stuff, and they're screening Guillermo's entire catalog at this screening.
Geez.
Very exciting, and
that's an extensive catalog. Are they gonna go up as far as the new Frankenstein? Probably not, because it's not out yet.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to screen that. I'm sure it's got sort of release, but they're screening everything else, man. And he's going to be there. I think he's going to be there doing Q&A and all of that. So
the extensive of his catalog is ridiculous.
Yeah, because they're playing everything. They're doing like Kronos. They're doing all his early stuff, Devil's Backbone, and then they're doing. I think they have a night where they're doing like Blade 2, and then Hellboy stuff. They're doing all sorts of shit.
I love Blade 2. I really love Blade 2. I'm one of the small few that really love it.
Dude, as a comic book nerd, I love it too. I mean, it's the truest form of like a comic book film. Like it's the team up, It's like if you ever read like Amazing Spider-Man, where like he would team up with the Punisher and the Hulk and Deathlock and all these different characters, and they'd all come together to fight either the Sinister Six or someone like that. It feels that way, where Blade is leading this team of vampire warriors to sort of deal with a common evil, which is going to be a problem for them both. But what I really love about that movie is that Blade is actually the strongest guy in the room. And so you're following all these characters that are with him that are kind of scared of him. And it's a really fun way to do that movie. It's a great watch. It's a great watch.
Yeah, I really love it. I actually love the design of the vampire with the slit, and it opens out into the Demogorgon kind of style face.
Yeah, I mean, Guillermo's been like, he's been at the forefront of that vibe for quite some time. Even since Mimic, he's been at that forefront of that body manipulation stuff.
What a movie!
Yeah, and he's been ripped off so much. Like all these other films, that are like, hey, this vampire thing. It's like, oh, let's do the Guillermo del Toro thing, So.
Yeah, he's ridiculous. in terms of like some of his stuff I don't really like. Like not that I don't like it, it's just I'm not gonna rush to put it on. Do you know that kind of way? And then there's other ones like Blade that I'll throw on. Like yeah, you mentioned Mimic. I haven't seen Mimic since I was about 12.
It's a good
That's the
movie.
cockroach movie, isn't it?
It's a good one. It's flawed because I think that was his first English speaking film, and from what I understand, he ran into a lot of trouble getting that movie made. I think he was making that movie for Miramax. I think he had to deal with Weinstein and all that.
That tells you everything you need to know, doesn't it?
Yeah, I've heard stories. I've definitely heard stories. Um, but yeah, it's a great film regardless. I still really like it. It's strange. It's
Yeah.
dark.
I'll have to rewatch it because as I said I haven't seen it in definitely 20 years.
Yeah, it's a weird. His production design is the reason to watch all his stuff, like his immersive worlds. It's the reason to watch stuff. It's just so meticulous and gorgeous and beautiful. You know.
Yeah, everything is so perfect in terms of a character creation and the world design that he does.
Yeah.
So it's not a bad person to have in the same film festival that you're running yours in. So
Yeah, I'm pretty excited, man. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to be screening. There's all sorts of people apparently screening at this festival. I think John Carpenter's screening.
oh jeez, the
He's
goat.
a Big Trouble in Little China on like a new IMAX print or something, or 70 millimeter print, and then there's a
No,
bunch of
that's not fair. That's not fair. No, it shouldn't be allowed.
yeah, they're doing that. I forget who, like Gore Verbinski, I think is going to be there, who did The Ring, and then it was someone else. Oh, it was William Peterson, who was in Manhunter and To Live and Die in L.A. Apparently, is going to be doing like a double screening too. So pretty
Oh,
cool.
nice. Well,
Yeah,
Big Trouble in Little China is my favorite film of all time.
it's a great movie.
Yeah.
It's a great cheese.
It took me years and years and years to come to terms that that is actually. I used to tell everyone like I'd say Heat was my favorite movie, but when I think about it, I watch Big Trouble in Little China at least twice a year.
Yeah,
Uh, Heat I can go a year or two without watching, and then it finally dawned on me where I was just like, nah,
it's great.
it's
I
just
mean,
not.
John Carpenter's in my DNA. Like The Thing is my top movie of like all horror movies. It's The Thing.
It's also the greatest remake of any genre ever.
Yeah, dude. I mean it's such a in such a way that it reinvented that film. Like when you watch Howard Hawks' The Thing, which is the original, it's not even the same thing. And I mean it's a harder movie to get through just because it's a different time period, but it's worth watching because of the flame sequence where they actually have the monster sort of break through the wall and they have they've got an actor or an actress behind a mattress and they have a guy with a bucket, a literal bucket of kerosene that they light on fire for real and they throw it on the monster and it spreads all over the room and it was all real. Talk about crazy filmmaking where they just threw a bucket of kerosene at this actor and lit him on fire.
Hope for the best.
Yeah,
Hope for the best.
yeah, it's cool,
Well, man,
man.
that's a couple of big directors. I'm a fan of Gordon Verbinski from the likes of Pirates of the Caribbean and stuff. Um,
He's great, man. I think he started in commercials, I think is where he started, or music videos, maybe both. And he's definitely one of those guys that feels like he comes out of the 90s as far as the craftsmanship that goes into his work. It's like him and, oh God, what's his name? Who did Constantine? He's
there's another movie I haven't seen in years.
he's also really great. Like there's a handful of directors that come from that time period that are just really great technicians and really great storytellers. I think.
Well, enough about everybody else. Let's get back to yourself. So you were mentioning you have a film running. Do you want to tell us a bit about that film?
Well, which one do you want to talk about?
Which one's going into the festival?
I mean, I can only leak certain things. I can't tell everything about
Oh,
it.
it's a new film.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
new.
okay. Sorry. I thought it was
Now it's
I thought it
cool.
was yeah. I thought it was one of your older ones.
Now it's a new film. It's experimental. It's really exciting. It's me teaming up with Gina Manning, who's a fashion photographer and a creative director, and the two of us. She built this world, and I went and played in this world and directed this piece. Very excited about it. I can say, because I've said it and released it, it does star actor David Dismalchian, so he's in it. So if you guys saw Late Night with the Devil,
Uh, I
or if you,
love David Tasmanian.
yeah, he's great, dude. So
The polka dot man.
yeah, he's great. He's such a talented guy. He's such a caring dude. Really great collaborator. I had a blast. I worked with him for 2 days, and Gina worked with him longer than I did. And you know, he's really, really great in this piece. So it is kicking around in festivals right now. So I think I can officially announce these things because the festivals say I can. So like we're in Beyond Film Festival, and then I think we're in Film Quest as well. So
We don't get any of them over here.
you guys don't do any festival? Like what part? Where are you? You're in Ireland?
Right. Yeah. Just outside. I live just outside Dublin. Yeah.
I think Dublin's got a film fest,
They
right? But
do. They do Horrorcon. But
yes,
it's like 4 days or something, 3 days, and that's it. And like for most of the time, you don't know what you're getting up until probably a couple of days beforehand. And most of the time, it's older films. Like I think last year they had The Descent and Dog Soldiers and stuff.
yeah. I mean, it's pretty cool. Like living out here in LA, you have a lot more access to these things. Like Beyond Fest is out here, and they have a strange programming. Apparently, I'm one of only 46 shorts because our new film was a short film. So I'm one of only 46 shorts that were chosen, which is great. And then they do this, I think they have like 90 something feature films, and they're doing everything from like new features to like old stuff. So like they're doing the entire run of Guillermo del Toro's catalog. They're doing John Carpenter, like I said. They're doing who the fuck else? There's a bunch of different stuff, and it's because it's out here in Los Angeles, so they have that.
Will Carpenter be in attendance though?
What's that?
Will John Carpenter be in attendance?
I think so. I think he's doing a Q and A. I think he's doing a Q and A,
It's not fair.
which is fun because I'm going to be seeing him multiple times. I'm going to try to get over to his Q and A. I don't know if it's screening at the same time we are, but then I'm going to go see him in concert. He's touring, so I'm going to go see him in this or next month, where he's just playing all his movie score stuff and all his John Carpenter shit. And then
Right.
probably see him again because there's that big composers concert that's going around, which is like Trent Reznor, Atticus Ross, John Carpenter, um, what's his name, who did Danny Elfman, a
Oh.
bunch of different composers, and then they have a tour that they're doing.
John Williams.
What's that?
John Williams going to be at it?
I don't know if John Williams is on it. That'd be interesting. But I know that those John Williams might be too old for that. But I know that these other guys are touring.
Nice. That's a lot of big names in there.
Yeah, dude. I'd be curious to see what that vibe is. Like, I don't know if it's like a day festival thing. I have no idea, but pretty cool.
I'm heading to Europe's biggest. Well, it's not Europe's anymore because England aren't in Europe anymore. But to what was Europe's biggest horror con in Manchester next month. We're actually going 6 weeks from now. We're going over to For the Love of Horror, and they're after getting Alan Howerton to play in the after party.
Oh, cool, man.
Yeah, he's got to do all the movie scores and stuff. And I'm
That's
just
right.
like, yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes, yes.
that's cool, dude. Yeah. So can't really tell you that much about the new movie, but you know, I've got a couple of other films that have been doing pretty well. This movie, 12 Kilometers, which I'm pretty well known for on the internet. Uh,
Yes.
that one has been, that's a movie I made a while ago. And that one was basically a proof of concept film that I made. It's a horror. It's based on a true life story of a Russian drill team in the 1980s uh, in Russia that dug the deepest hole known to man. And there was a whole myth on the internet about this team lowering microphones down into this hole.
Oh, it's that. Is it the Gates of Hell?
Yes, so that was the motivation for it. But the film was conceived after I had a major head injury. So I got into an accident years ago, and I went ice skating for the first time, and I slipped on the ice and I cracked my skull, and I had a hematoma, and I had concussions, and I was in intensive care for about 5 days. And one of the major side effects of it, I was hallucinating, and I was convinced that my inner voice wasn't my own. And so that was a scary thing, but if I'm a horror director, so I was just really excited about going through it and being like, wow, I have to make notes. And I was telling my girlfriend at the time, you have to record what I'm going through. And then after I got out of that recovery, I went into 5 months of concussion recovery. So crazy.
Concussions are fucking disasters.
Yeah, dude. And so I ended up writing the feature version or a feature version of 12 kilometers. And then when I healed and was fully cleared to go back to work, I decided that I was going to dump everything and just make this proof of concept film, which is this short film. And it's about 30 minutes long. And I just dumped everything into it. We replicated 1980s Russia in a small town outside of Boston, Massachusetts. I shot the whole movie in Russian. I don't speak Russian, so that was fun. And then, we did all sorts of cool shit. Worked with a microbiologist and shot this creature in there, and it's really cool, man. And the movie went on to great success. The short, it ended up getting me representation, so I got an agent and a manager and all that stuff from it. And then they sent me out to all these production companies to pitch the movie. So I pitched it to like Michael Bay's company and Sam Raimi's company and all these different spots. And then it ended up in Ridley Scott's office and his team, and Ridley liked the movie. And so they were like, hey, let's develop this with you. And so it's been at Ridley's office. And so I wasn't gonna show the general public the movie. I had no intention of doing so. I made it so that I could try to get the feature made. But with my show, with my podcast, I would always be talking about what we went through and how we made this movie. And I would interview people that worked on the movie. And so a lot of fans were like, hey, how can we see this film? And jokingly, I had said, like, well, look, if you send me your 3 favorite horror movies, and if I agree with you, then maybe I'll send you a link. That went viral. So
Yeah, that's how we first connected.
yeah.
That's how we first connected. I'm actually going to get up what the movies I sent you were.
What's
I'm
that?
pretty sure it was. I'm pretty sure it was Nightmare on Elm Street, which is obviously the first one. Let me see. Nightmare on Elm Street. Oh no, you had up at the time was your 3 favorite slashers.
Oh yeah. What were your slashes? It was Nightmare on Elm Street.
I had the Hilliker family from Wrong Turn.
Okay.
Because I absolutely love the franchise. I literally finished watching the 6 of them over the last 2 days. I put in Victor Crowley as well from Hatchet because I didn't want to just go with it. I just didn't want to go to easy, the big 3.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's crazy.
As you can kind of tell from behind me, Freddie is the guy.
Yeah, dude. I love
the t-shirts.
Nightmare on Elm Street's always on my lists. It's such a great movie. I like that franchise. I think there's something fun about nightmares, and I think your brain and humans' brains and their subconscious is like the last Wild West. It's like the last place that you can really be scared, because at this point, like we've we know what's at the bottom of the ocean. We know it's in the dark. It's so hard to scare a young audience.
Create something.
What's that?
It's so hard to create something when you know it's not there.
Yeah, I mean it's a very jaded young audience right now, and so for me, it's like what's going on with your mind, and I mean that was what was exciting me about 12 Cam. It was like anytime you are confronted with anything in life, or if you're trying to process a problem or decide what you're going to do for that day, we all have an inner voice. So we all ask ourselves these questions. And our inner voice is our guiding voice, which is essentially just us telling us what we should do or how to process this. Or if you bump into someone on the street, you're like, that guy's an asshole. Like that's always someone that's in your head. And the idea that that was pretending to be you, but it's not you, like that to me is fucking terrifying. And so um, that's kind of what 12 Cam is about, which is kind of cool. So you'll see, it's a good setup for a much bigger movie.
Like I know you sent it to me. I just didn't have a chance to get it watched. I will, as I said to you off screen. I'll get it watched tomorrow, and I will let you know what I think.
Yeah, yeah, man. And for anybody listening, if they want to see it, write to me on Instagram at Mike Pecci and send me your 3 favorite horror movies. And as long as you're not a dick, and as long as you spend some time actually thinking about the horror films, chances are I'll probably just get you a link. But I do turn away people. I have people that, it's like they're trying to prove. I don't know what they're trying to prove. They'll write to me and they'll go like, my favorite horror movies are like Shrek 1, 2, and 3, and I'm just like, get out of here.
They're pretty much going on the basis that it's an automatic response that you'll get the link.
No, it's me, dude. Unfortunately, it's me. I can't really automate it. Instagram doesn't let you automate it the right way, and I wouldn't want to anyways. And the reason I did it, and the reason why I continue to do it rather, is that I like meeting the people that watch my stuff. Like, if I had just taken this movie about a bunch of Russians and put it online and it's in Russian, no one would have given a shit. Like if I just put it up on YouTube, no one would care. But because of this process, people engage with me. They feel excited about watching the movie. And then they watch the movie in the right mindset, where they watch the film and they're like, I love this film. It's really great. And it's because they feel like they're engaged. And if I was going to do a screening, I'd stand at the door in the screening room and I'd shake the hands of everybody that came in the room and go, hey, welcome to my movie. Thanks for coming out, So
it's them personal touches that can make a difference to somebody being like, that guy actually took the time to stand there and thank everyone for coming to see his film. Where you could have a screening and like, I'm not saying it happens, but the director could be there and standing at the front, not saying a word, just watching the reactions.
Dude, I've been to screenings like that. It always blows my mind when I come in contact with a director who's like, "Oh, I can't sit in the room when they screen my movie," or they get real crazy about it. I'm like, dude, this is the whole purpose. Like, it's everything. It's the reason why you wrote the idea to begin with. It's the reason why you spend countless hours coming up with like how to shoot it and all this different stuff. And then in the edit room where you're like, I think this is going to make people scared, or I think if I shave 3 frames off this shot, it's scarier. You don't know if any of that works until you're actually in the theater, until you're sitting there with people and people are registering. Like we watched Conjuring. We went to the movies and saw that last week.
Oh, the new one?
Yeah, the new one that just came out, the 4th one. And dude, the audience loved it. They loved it. They were just jumping and screaming and yelling and moving, and that is so exciting. That's the reason to make it. That's the reason to do horror. It's like the lonely genres in filmmaking. I guess you kind of get it with like superhero shit, but like the genre that you have the most control over the audience and the genre that you get the most response from the audience. So why would you not want to do horror? It's like And it's finally getting respect, right? You know, with the Academy.
It's great to see it. Yeah, great to
Yeah,
see it coming back around.
it's finally getting respect, but even still, you know, it's still considered B movie stuff and trying to
Yeah,
get certain actors to be in your movies. They're like, oh, I never do horror. Horror is trashy. And you're just like, that's stopping because it's literally the only movies that you can get a theatrical run that don't have people in, you know, their Superman underpants running around on screen. You know what I mean?
the thing is though, like I obviously I'm not a director, so I don't know what it's like when you go through the casting process, right? But for actors and actresses to turn around, I'm never going to do horror. All you have to do is point them to look at some of the biggest names in Hollywood and where they started. You know what I mean? Leonardo DiCaprio started in Critters 3. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Jennifer Aniston at the time was huge. She started in Leprechaun. George Clooney was in Attack of the.
Was it Attack of the Killer Tomatoes? Was that him?
That's the one. Yeah, that's the one. I couldn't think
That,
of it. I was Killer Tomatoes, Killer Pineapples.
uh,
Um,
Tomatoes. That's
yeah.
funny.
Like there's loads that are even bigger than that. Like it's just crazy. And to
And
go, oh, I'm not doing horror. Why?
it's wild now. And I think with A24 and with all these prestige elevated horror companies that
I
are making,
hate that term. I hate it.
dude, dude, all that term means, here, let me give you some insider from Hollywood. What elevated horror means is that they want to be doing something else, but they can't get the money for it. So they put a scary scene in the movie to
Yeah,
sell it. But when you watch the film, it's like this is a family fucking drama. That's what
yeah.
this is. Might as well be on Netflix, family drama.
I actually see the funny meme there. It was like the guy was taking the piss out of A24. Now, don't get me wrong. I love a lot of the A24 stuff. X, Maxine, and Pearl were phenomenal.
Yeah, great.
But this guy's going on. He's like, oh yeah. So what do we do at A24? We'll get two old people to get naked and have sex, which is a given. That happens, right? Then you'll have some kind of drama that goes on or a trauma bond, and they'll throw literally what you said, one or two scary scenes into the film, and by the end of it, the audience are going, "What was that ending about?"
It reminds me of when I was a kid, like when I was like 13, 14 years old, and it was before the internet, and you couldn't get pornography anywhere. You'd have to like maybe had a friend that had like a porn mag that you buried in the back, and you went and checked it out. And so the only place you could go for that stuff was late night, like HBO or Showtime, and they had like that like fake porn. It's basically where, you know, maybe the actress would take her top off and maybe you'd see the guy's butt, and then they just like rub tummies together, and that was like the whole thing that they did. But I sat through so much shit as like a 13, 14-year-old kid just trying to see some topless ladies, and it was terrible, like dramatic trash that just had some nude scenes in it. And I can't help but draw that parallel to sitting through when I'm sold a horror movie. I sit through this shit and I'm just like, there's no craft, there's no horror craft. There might be drama craft, but there's no horror craft. And then there's no monster, there's no payoff. Um, and I'm not going to solo out any specific company, but like a great example of this was when I went and saw It Comes at Night. And the trailer was awesome for it. There was like this red door and the dog barking and like close the door. It comes at night. And you're like, fuck, this is cool. And these companies do a really good job of shooting trailer meat, is what they call it. So all these shots to be used for trailers. And so I went and saw this fucking movie, and nothing comes at night. Spoiler alert, nothing comes at night. And when you're done with it, I remember I was sitting in the theater and there was a guy sitting in front of me, big dude with dreadlocks. And the credits show up and he just fucking stood up and went, fuck you. Movie. And I was like, dude, that's it. It's so easy. And now with the success of horror right now, Warner Brothers is changing their whole business strategy because Weapons crushed. Uh, Sinners crushed.
I literally only finished Weapons there maybe an hour ago.
Yeah, yeah,
I've been so I sat down and my missus has a thing where she'll look up what the movie's about, right?
yeah,
But the guy, the chef in her job, he knows that I love horror and she just talked to him about it. And he told her to tell me to watch it, right? So I'm like,
yeah,
okay, grand. I said, I'd seen. Remember they released the 20-second trailer where it was like all these kids went missing at 2:17, and you see them running out of the house, and that was it. I didn't watch
yeah,
anything else after that, right? Didn't care to
yeah.
follow it up. One of the lads that does be on the show, he texted me there about I think it was a week or so ago, and he's like, it was phenomenal, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, grand. Don't want to know what else. Haven't checked that now. Didn't watch any trailers. Didn't read any reviews. Sitting here with herself there tonight, and turned it on. First 2 minutes into the movie, she's like, "What's this about?" And I was like, "I don't know. Couldn't tell you." I was like, knowing the director, I was like, "There's got to be some like left hook turn coming out of this somewhere."
Sure.
She twigged it maybe about an hour into the movie. And she's like, "Oh, so this is what it's going to be about." And I was like, "Did you look that up?" And she's like, "No, no." She's like, "I've watched enough and I've read enough to know thing like roughly what's happening." And she turned out to be right.
That's
But it was phenomenal. It was a great movie to watch. Um, but for me, it got to so I have a thing where I'll keep a list of all the 2025 movies I watch and
yeah,
rank them in order of how I like them for the year. It got to number 8
that's
out of
great.
was it 8 out of 81, I think.
Wow, that's great. Yeah, I thought it was awesome, man. Great movie, well done, well put together.
Yeah.
With the success of that, and then the new Conjuring just crushed at the box office. Like it's one of the most successful worldwide horror film releases ever.
It
Uh,
is now. Yeah, it's number one. It beat out it for the opening weekend.
so, and then it was also Warner Brothers. So, like, you sit there and you go, can we just now decide? Because those three movies aren't It Comes at Night. Like they're satisfying. You watch the film and something happens, and something is satisfying about what happens in it every time. Like whether or not you like Sinners, it delivers on monster, it delivers on violence, it delivers on all that stuff. It's got some weird shit in it, which is fun. And then the same thing with The Conjuring. I don't think it's the strongest Conjuring movie. I just watched Conjuring 2 last night, which I think is my favorite out of the whole series.
Two.
2, yeah, I love 2.
I've been to that house in
Really?
Enfield. And, yeah, my uncle brought me up. Now you can't go in it because people live in it. But
That's great.
he brought me up to see it when I was younger. I was only
That's
like
great.
15 minutes away from where my nanny lives or lived. Um, it's just a house, like, but he's like, that's the house. I was like, yeah.
That's
But
cool, man.
you mentioned Sinners there, so I don't know whether you can see Sinners is bang number one on the top of my list. I know it's back to front in that image.
It's
Sinners
great.
was off the charts.
It's crazy to me that it did well. It's like it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Like when the trailers first came out, I was like, "What the fuck is this movie?" Like the first round of trailers were terrible that they released with it, and um, then I just didn't give a shit. And then it was word of mouth, and there was so much word of mouth where people were like, "Sinners is coming out. It's going to be amazing. It's awesome. We've seen a pre-screening." And then out here in Los Angeles, I was like, "All right, I'll try to go." I tried to book a ticket for a month, and I couldn't find a theater. It was sold out
Oh,
for like a month, dude. On like Tuesday nights, Tuesday afternoons, sold out, front row only. And so it took
that's it. Oh,
a month.
fuck that.
Yeah. So with the success of those films, I think that what they all have in common is that there's an artist behind them and there's a technician that knows horror and celebrates horror. So each and every one of those movies, they're not just jump scare movies. There's technique involved, there's tone building involved, there's a voice to it where you watch it and you go, got it. I know the director's voice in this. And I see that as such an inspirational thing right now because we're living in a time period where these corporations are telling us that our voice doesn't fucking matter, that AI will just replicate everybody's work and it doesn't, your jobs don't mean anything. And it's really nice to see audiences celebrating filmmakers that they know or they want to know. And now afterwards, you know, they're like, what's he doing next? What's the guy from Barbarian doing next? What's the guy from what's Ryan Coogler doing next? You know, like
So
which is great, man. It's great.
I the first 2025 movie I seen this year was Nosferatu,
Yeah,
right? I know it was released in 24 in the States, but it didn't come out here till New Year's Day, so I counted it as a 25 movie.
yeah.
And I sat there and watched it with herself. You know, she's not a huge horror fan, so watched it with me. And I was like, this is going to be impossible to beat for the year. That's how big I was on it, right? Now, his mustache in it kind of annoyed me. I was like, it's a bit strange,
Yeah.
but
I thought,
we got on with it, right? Sinners immediately jumped to number one. Um, Mission Impossible went to two when I finally got to see that. That was phenomenal.
yeah.
But out of my top 10 for the year so far, I have 6 horror movies in there.
That's great.
That's how it's been.
That's
Now one that really surprised me was Bring Her Back. I don't know whether you've seen that one.
I haven't seen it yet. Is it good?
Oh, I didn't expect anything good from it. I'd
And it was
seen a couple of ads and I was like, this just looks like a rip of Talk to Me. From the basic ads that I've seen. No, I'm not mad at watching ads of films. But I happened to walk into the kids' bedroom when they were watching YouTube and the ad popped up. And I was like, I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to be watching something like this, being 9 and 6.
yeah.
Um, but I was like, oh, okay. I was like, that intrigues me. So I watched it and I was blown away. I said the acting in it was phenomenal.
Huh.
Um, so yeah, in terms of horror, for my top 10, I have Sinners at 1, Nosferatu at 3, Bring Her Back at 4, Dangerous Animals at 6. I don't know whether you've seen that one.
I haven't seen that one yet. That's Cronenberg's son, isn't it? Or isn't that a Cronenberg Spawns
Uh,
movie?
yeah, somewhere along the way, I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, it's Jai Courtney from Suicide Squad is the bad guy.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
He
yeah.
played a fucking awesome bad guy.
Okay.
Uh, I watched Together. I don't know whether you've seen that one.
Now, is it any good?
I did again another movie I didn't have any hopes for because I don't really like Dave Franco and I don't really like Alison Brie. That got to 7. That's how good that was. The
Okay.
story was good, original, good acting for a change from Dave Franco.
Okay.
uh, then I have Weapons, and then at 11 Until Dawn, which really surprised me.
Oh yeah, David Sandberg's. But I wasn't that crazy about that one, but I like Sandberg, so I
Yeah,
give
see,
him. A,
a lot of people said to me, they're like, "Oh, you obviously didn't play the game. That's why you like the film." I was like, "I never played the game in my life, not once." But
I did.
I enjoyed the premise of it, and I thought it was fun. So yes, I enjoyed it.
I wanted to watch it because I'm a big Peter Stormare fan. I actually had him on
He's
my show.
good in it.
He's a great guy. Him and I
You said
got.
you had him on your show.
Yeah, yeah. He's been on my show. He's great. Uh,
Oh,
we did a whole episode where we talked about what did we talk about? We talked about Michael Bay because he was in all of Michael Bay's stuff for a while.
yeah, he
And then
was in Armageddon and Independence Day, not Independence Day.
no, what was the other one? Bad Boys 2 or something, or was he in Bad Boys? I can't remember. He was in another,
He
definitely
was,
Armageddon.
he was in Bad Boys 1, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And then yeah, the character that he always plays, the same character he played in the John Wick thing. But yeah, he's a great dude. He's a fun guy. It's a great, great conversation. It's on our. For those of you listening, I have a podcast called "In Love with the Process," and
I was going to say pitch the name. Go on, throw it out
yeah,
there.
I've been doing it for over 6 years, almost 7 years, and it's started as a show that I wanted to do for people that worked in the business, because I'd constantly have guys writing to me saying like, how do you do this? How do you set up your business? And I was looking around, and most podcasts or our blogs or whatever at the time, they were all through like Instagram filters. So they're like, life's going to be great. This business, if you just follow these steps, you'll get what you want. And it was all lies. And I really wanted to do a show that was honest and talked about how difficult it is to do anything art related, and how difficult it is to make that decision to change your life and not punch into a job, and how hard it can be. And so that's how the show started. But then it became bigger, and then it became about whoever I wanted to hang out with. And so it was chefs, rock stars, actors, directors. I've got a really great episode with director Joe Carnahan, who did Smoking Aces, The Gray, Narc.
Love the Grey.
What's that?
I love the Grey.
Oh, dude, The Gray is all time.
One of my favorite creature features.
Dude, all time favorite. I mean, the idea of him breaking up like tiny bottle nips and then going to fight wolves with it. And that's a great episode. Joe Carnahan and I got along really well. That's a great episode to listen to. So, In Love with the Process is the show. And we release twice a week, and we try to keep it fun and crazy and wild. And it's a good show.
I haven't actually had the chance to check it out. I'm notorious for saying, yeah, I'll check stuff out, and then I either go to bed because I normally record at night here, because most of our guests in the States. I wake up the next morning and I'm like, they told me something to watch, and then I'm like, nope.
Just Google search In Love with the Process, Peter Stormare, and listen to that episode. It's a great episode. It's a great episode.
Yeah, like that's my problem, right? And then, as I said to you, I literally watched the 6 Wrong Turns in the last couple of days. I literally tend to just go back to near like comfort movies to watch.
That's the hard part, right? Like by the time you're done at night, and this is a conversation that I'm having on a future episode. I'm doing a big push for physical media again, because I really believe that physical media and curation, having stuff that's curated for you, I think that's what's missing from all the streaming services. I think the algorithm game is soulless, and it wants to be your best friend. So it's constantly feeding whatever your taste is in that moment. And it's not really expanding your brain at all. It's not really pushing you. And, you know, from back in the day when you used to go to the video store, or from even when your friends would let you borrow DVDs or tell you that they had something really great. And so I have this really big push for physical media again, because I feel like curation, and dude, 12 cam, send me your 3 favorite horror movies. Curation is everything. It opens the conversation. It changes people's mindsets. So now when I sit down at night at the end of the day and I'm exhausted, and me and my fiance will sit down and it's like, what do we want to watch? The act of just scrolling through the fucking mindless
It's dire. Yeah.
it's shit, dude. And everybody that I talk to says exactly what you just said. And when you sit down, you can get lost just searching for a movie. And then it's like 20, 30 minutes. You're like, I don't even want to watch any of this stuff anymore. Because
this is the exact problem me and her have, right?
Yeah.
So she'll be down in the room because she likes to go down, lie in the bed, and listen to true crime stuff. I can't stand it. So I sit here and I'll play the PlayStation. She'll text me, or she'll hold out and be like, find something to watch, or find a few films, and I'll look for a few. Right? And then she'll come out with 3. I'll have 3. We'll pick none of them. Scroll through for an hour, and then she'll hang on to it. And then I'm like, oh, see you later.
But you know, just you telling me your top movies makes me go, oh, because some of those movies, like when I see them in the lineup, I go, I don't give a fuck about that. I don't want to watch that movie. But if someone comes to me and says, hey man, I think it's a great film, and this was surprising to me, and this was really awesome, or if someone is just saying what they're excited about, and then it stimulates me going, oh yeah, fuck yeah, I should go back and watch that again, or I should go see that thing again. That's the best way to do it. That's why I used to love working in a music store, man. When you walk into a record store, now I collect vinyls just for this reason because Spotify's the same way. You're like, ugh. After a while, you listen to Spotify and you're just exhausted. But when I go buy a vinyl, I'll walk into the shop and I'll be like, what the fuck is playing? I remember I was at a vinyl shop out here in Los Angeles and I walked in and there was this really badass sort of dark, like post-punk song playing. And I was like, what is this? And I talked to the guy behind the counter and he goes, this is the Ramones. I was like, this is the fucking Ramones? And he goes, yeah, this is the Ramones in the early 90s Ramones. And I went, holy shit. And then I went back, just fell into a catalog of listening to the Ramones stuff and a lot of Ramones stuff that I hadn't listened to later in their career. And I was like, this shit's fucking good. And it's been there. It's been there since the 90s. But what it took for me was to have some sort of interaction with it or with somebody who was excited about it for me to go, yeah, fuck yeah, I want to go watch that thing. And you're seeing Hollywood's trying to figure it out right now, but you're seeing the success of that with Sinners, with Weapons. Those two movies, Weapons had a great trailer, but I think Sinners had shit trailers. So with those movies, they would be nothing without word of mouth. They would be nothing without people saying, you gotta fucking see this movie. It's fucking great. It's great. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it.
The last big one of them, or the first, not even the last, one of the first big ones of the word of mouth ones that got me was the original Paranormal Activity.
Yeah, that was a big one. Paranormal Activity was a big one.
Yeah, the first one of them when people were walking out of the cinema terrified. No, I'm not sure why, because it was a made for cinema film. Because when you watch it at home, it's not nearly as good.
Now, when you don't have the hype, it's kind of like going back and watching Blair Witch.
No, I love. I will not have a bad word said about the Blair Witch. And I think that falls down to when I was in school. We'd done that as part of creative media in England.
Sure.
Because at the time when it came out, the internet wasn't a big thing and it was dubbed over as a true story. And how you use the media to boost everything for you. Now you can't do anything. Like the problem with social media, like I'm a big wrestling fan, right? And you can't, like, everything is known weeks in advance of what's going to happen. I mean, cinemas, like the big one then this time for Scream 7, where they put out that Matthew Lillard's back, they put out that Skeet Ulrich, that Roman Bridger's back, they put out that Jill Roberts is back. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm like, why?
I'm kind of over all.
Yeah. Why not just leave it and let the fans experience it day one?
That's because they want to make a couple $100 million on it. So, like, the danger for them is that if we don't market this correctly, if we're not pushing all those names, people only go see a movie because of what actors in that movie. That's the Hollywood system. So it makes sense why they're doing it.
I do think that Scream might have struggled over the whole Melissa Barrera and Spyglass and the issues that fell with that. Obviously, I don't said the off screen. I don't think it, but I think Scream 7 might have struggled because you'll have the fan base that were following 5 and 6. They were like, fuck, not going to see it now that she's not in it. And then all of a sudden, you drop that, all the names are back, and everyone's like, ooh.
Yeah, it's also sort of like a carryover from the Marvel movies and the whole spectacle of, casting as many big actors in a movie that you possibly could get. Like, that was Avengers. It was like, how the fuck did we get all these? We've never had all these characters at the same time. We've never had all these doing that stuff. And so that sort of carries over. And so now it's with these older movies. I Know What You Did Last Summer. It's like Jennifer Love Hewitt is back. And you're just like, I love Jennifer Love Hewitt. I loved her back in the day, but no one's given a shit about Jennifer Love Hewitt for how long. And now, just because she's going to be back in the new I Know What You Did Last Summer, and you watch the trailer and you go, this is obviously a cash grab because it's all trash. Like, it's not good.
I haven't seen it. She wants to watch it. I only watched the first one there last year for the first time since I was young. I couldn't tell you. I don't know how many there is. I haven't seen any of the rest of them. But she's like, I want to watch the new one, and I was like, I'm pretty sure you have to watch the old one because they're like legacy actors, and you're like, oh, okay, we'll watch them. I was like, all right.
I mean, they're all kind of the same. It's a slasher movie. They're all kind of the same. Um, it's funny. I came to this realization because I've been developing movies. I've got like 3 or 4 different feature films that are written and we're out and trying to get them sold. And part of what you do in this business, you're always queuing up something else. You're always working on something. So that way you're not just waiting around for 1 or 2 movies to go, because it'll take 10 years for some of these things. So I was working with my writing partner, Will Simmons, and we were trying to come up with some new ideas. And for a while, I was like, hey, man, I think I want to do a slasher movie. And so we were going back and forth and we're trying to figure out what the slasher movie was about. And I was really digging deep into like mythologies and masks and all the stuff, the visual stuff that I really like. I was trying to design it. And then we sat down to do the nitty gritty of the script. We started to like pull the scenes together. And he's like, I think there should be a bunch of guys that are on like a bachelor party and they're all hanging out and they're kind of scumbags. I kicked in and I went, I don't want to be begging my crew at hour 12 to stick around for a few extra hours so I could shoot some mindless dialogue of a bunch of douchebag guys that need to be douchey on screen so that when you kill them, it's okay to kill them. I was like, I don't want to do that. And then I just sort of hit a point where I go, I don't think I like slashers. I think it was just at that moment where I went, I don't think I like traditional slashers at all. I don't think I like the young kids, fucking in the woods and, this guy with
Walk around and find.
I just don't. I don't think I like it. We've got another movie that is like the anti-slasher movie, which I think is a lot of fun, but the whole traditional like young kids running from, I even when I was a kid in the 80s, I think I was just like Freddy Krueger's the coolest one. Nightmare on Elm definitely the coolest. Jason was just a reason to show some like actresses and put a machete in them. Who else? Like Candyman, whatever. I found myself more drawn to like the cerebral shit, like Jacob's Ladder, The Thing, any John Carpenter, any like Cronenberg stuff, The Fly, any of that weird shit. Because it was scary. And I feel like when you do a movie for general audiences like a slasher film, you set the rules and you say, here are the rules. This is what happens. And then this is the only way to survive. And then the formula, like these kids are going to get killed. This person's obviously going to survive. And then by the end of it, we'll see what happens. And it's safe. When you watch it, it's safe. It's not truly scary. But when
you know exactly what's coming.
What were we saying?
You know exactly what's coming. But it's just a fun ride along the way.
But when you see weird, scary, sort of cosmic horror, strange stuff, like I'm a big fan of Mandy, obviously, Nicolas Cage and Panos Cosmatos. And that movie is just, you don't know what the fuck. And the setup for it is so simple and wonderful. Like, lumberjack goes on a fucking rampage of revenge because his wife is kidnapped and killed by a cult. And you go, fuck, all right, that is like a 70s, grind. And so like, fuck yeah, I'll go. Nick Cage is doing it, yeah, I'll go. And then that movie goes on such a weird, trippy run that you just don't know. And you spend so much time just staring at it going, ugh. And that's horror to me. Horror is odd and crazy and strange and dangerous. And I think a lot of mainstream horror stuff is not. It's like, okay, here's a roller coaster. Get in, make sure you're locked in, your hands don't go above here, and then we'll take you on this ride. You're like, that's
Yeah,
not fun.
I find that like it seems to be going back to the old formula of the the black guy dies, the the couple that have sex die, usually
Yeah,
somewhere in the you've got the stoner guy who gets killed. Then you have the good-looking female that's the lead. She survives, but her boyfriend doesn't. So, I mean, like, don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong. It's a formula that works, right?
yeah,
And it's proven time and time again that it works.
but it's a fucking formula. And if it's a formula, then you know what you're in for. And at that point, you might as well just watch baseball or soccer because you know what you're getting. Like there are two teams. One team's gonna done. One team's gonna be the winner. One's gonna be the loser. Fucking
It,
done.
it's also one of the reasons that I'm hugely favorable on animal creature features
Yeah,
because you don't know. They don't follow that formula of, oh, you might die. Now, bear in mind, I'll walk in and I'll normally when I see a creature feature for the first time, I'll look at it and I'll be like, as soon as you get the main group, I'll be like, at least five of you are dead.
yeah, dude. And you know what's interesting is you don't need people to die in a horror for it to be scary. And I almost find it more scary if you lose your grip on your reality. Like if you're watching that movie or if you're a character in that movie, because as humans, we're all like, this is what I want for my life. I want to meet someone that I love. I want to get a job where I can make money. I want to make sure I'm healthy. I want to eat food. I want to fuck. And I want to have my little house. That's like everybody. So, any country, everybody has that same thing. This is what I want at its core. And so if you make a movie that fucks with that, if you make a movie that really fucks with our core, which of course we don't want to die, but you can screw around with your reality and the reality of the characters on screen, that's fucking terrifying. And if by the end of that movie they don't die, but their whole world is thrown apart, that's even they want to die. You know what I mean? They want to go
I,
die.
I do love I do love those films where the main character is left miserable at the end of it. Like what was the one that I watched? Would You Rather? I don't know whether you've ever seen that. Have you?
Oh, I haven't seen. No, maybe I have seen that one. Yeah. I have seen.
The guy from Trailer Park Boys is in it. Former porn star Sasha Grey is in it.
Yeah.
And they're basically playing a game of Would You Rather for money. But like the ending of that is fucking miserable. Like
It's
miserable.
I love that stuff, man. And the other thing I think I love about horror, especially like we talked about this at the front end of this, the whole not really a horror film, a drama, some sort of elevated, sort of pretentious fucking drama that is pretending to be a horror movie. I find myself drawn to adventure horror movies more than anything else. A movie that, even though the characters are grounded in some sort of reality that we understand, the world is a hyper reality. Like the world goes to different places. And I find that with like exorcism movies or like haunting movies, the world your suspension of disbelief opens up a bit wider and it's like, oh, maybe there are ghosts out there and maybe there are these things. I was surprised by the Pope's Exorcist and I really liked that fucking movie a lot.
Oh, I hated it.
I liked it a lot, man. I was very surprised by it. But I think that I like adventure horror. I think more than anything else, and that could be a creature feature. That could be, you know, a space horror movie. You know, you look at. I guess it's kind of a creature feature, but like Event Horizon, great movie.
Oh, it's phenomenal. Phenomenal movie.
Great movie. I would even say that even though Freddy is a slasher movie, I see it more of an adventure horror movie because
They they definitely changed it to that.
Yeah, man. It's I don't want to use the term elevated because elevated is being misused right now, but it transforms the world, and the world isn't just mundane. It's more than you would see on some streaming service television show. You know what I mean? Like there's more
Yeah.
art to it, there's more craft put into it, there's more time, there's more money. All that stuff goes into those movies, and you watch them, and you just like Jaws. I love fucking Jaws. And Jaws is a creature movie, but Jaws is an adventure horror. We got to
Yeah.
put this together. We got to go out and try to get this fucking shark. It's an adventure horror.
Well, I'll give you a funny one before we finish up. So my at the time he was 8 year old asked me one day, he says, "Can we watch Jaws?" I was like, "No, not a chance. Not a chance am I letting you watch Jaws." Right. So little backstory, right? So the 2 years ago when he was in school, they were talking about what they'd done over the Christmas break, right? And the teacher calls me up at the end of the day, telling me about it. And she's like, "Oh, he was in circle time and telling us that you and him spent New Year's together, right? Because his mammy was at a wedding and his sister, whose birthday is New Year's Eve, decided she wanted to stay with her auntie. So me and him had a boys' night. We had steak and pizza and we watched the movie, right? So we watched Jurassic World, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, we watched Jurassic Park, and teacher calls me over. Right now, I'm a big film fan, as you can guess. Right, so teacher calls me over and says, "I need to have a word with you." Ben was telling us that he's watched Jurassic Park. It's not really appropriate for an 8 year old. I said, "What are you talking about?" I said, she was like, "Oh, people get eaten by dinosaurs and stuff. It's a 12 movie." I said, "It's not a 12 movie. It's a PG movie."
Yeah.
Right. And he was going on and basically moaning about him being able to play Call of Duty and him watching Jurassic Park, right? So I walked away from that conversation. The night before, me and him had sat down and watched Ace Ventura. And I was like, "Thank fuck, he didn't bend over and start talking out of his arse, right?" Because
Yeah.
I started watching all the classics with him, right? So he goes, "Can I watch Jaws?" I said, "No, not a chance. I'm going to let you watch Jaws." And we were going out and we booked to go and see that Bad Guys 2, that cartoon film. Right?
Yeah.
I walked into the bedroom after we booked it, and they were all delighted. Like, "Yeah, I love the first one." There's I've got some bad news. I said, "The film's cancelled. We have to go and see Jaws instead." And Finn bounces out of the bed. He's like, "Yes," right, and he's playing Roblox where he owns a cinema, right? And he's like, "Look at this." Turns around in the game, and there's a big poster of Jaws on the wall. Right, so I walk back into my missus and I says, "You in there?" They were dead delighted with life. I said, "He's in there playing cinema game and he has Jaws on in the cinema." I said, "Maybe you should let him watch it, right?" And I said, I don't know. Not quite yet. Still a bit young. We get to the cinema later on that day, right? And there's a big fucking poster for Jaws that it's coming to the cinema. And I was like, "Right, I'm gonna let him watch it." Right? We come home after the cinema the following weekend, me and him sat down and watched Jaws. Right, so my young lad has autism and ADHD, right? And he very rarely sits for a whole movie. For 2 hours and 9 minutes, he sat there glued to the screen of Jaws. Glued.
You can't deny the power of Steven Spielberg. Like that guy knows how to craft a movie. He knows how to craft scenes in a film. He knows how to keep you fucking hooked. He's so good at. He's such a great filmmaker, especially for like popcorn movies and like bigger than larger than life films. At Jaws, man, I grew up in Boston and I lived on Cape Cod for a while, and they filmed Jaws on Martha's Vineyard, which is the island off of the Cape. So, well, every
Nice.
we'd swim in that ocean, and that's one of the only movies that I don't care who you are, what time of your life you see that film, makes you think twice about going in the ocean. It just,
It's definitely the most realistic shark film. Not taken away from the other ones where they use CGI. I mean, in general, like Deep Blue Sea, the genetically enhanced shark, Sharknado is whatever. Great White, that one with Alicia Silverstone was absolutely atrocious. Absolutely atrocious. Oh, it was straight trash. Um, Jaws 2, okay, you could say the same. um, somewhatly believable. Do you know what I mean? But
Yeah,
in
yeah,
terms of
yeah. They just tried. Jaws 2. I watched that last year. They just tried to, replicate the magic. I think the best thing, and this has been said to death, but I think the best thing that happened to Jaws was the worst thing that happened to Jaws. Was
the
that
shark,
they couldn't get that shark to work. And the lesson that I learned as a director from watching that, it's the same lesson that I learned when watching Aliens with James Cameron, and that whole sequence might be a cut sequence that's on the extended DVD. But there's a sequence where they put the tracking guns in the hallway, and they're locked in the space, and those guns are picking off aliens, and they're just counting down the ammunition. And it's such a great trick to do at a time period where you didn't have the CG, you didn't have all that shit that you could do whatever you wanted. And so what you would focus on in that scene, they were focusing on people looking at these numbers counting down. And that's all it was. It was the suspense of these numbers counting down the amount of ammunition that was being shot. And if the ammunition runs out, we're dead. And so that engagement is what makes that such a personal human connection movie. And that engagement in Jaws, it's the same thing. It's like under the water, the fucking killer score from John Williams, the fin. It's just so simplistic. And since you don't have the ability to show the shark or to create this CG fucking thing that flops around, um, everything is suspense. Is my arm going to get eaten? Like, is this thing going to happen? And when they build it to a point, he does such a good job with it that when they build it to the point where Quint gets eaten and that fucking dumb looking shark is there, just and if that was at the first scene in that movie, everybody would go, look at the shit shark that's in this fucking movie. But because of the hour and change, that all we did was build this suspense and build this tension around what we couldn't see, that when we were so personally connected to Quint as a character, and we're connected to this guy, and he goes down and he's doing those little kicks and he can't hold himself, and you're looking past the fact that that does not look like a shark. Sharks don't move that way, but you're so obsessed with how Quint is trying to save his life. It's fucking terrifying. And that's the one scene. I get why you said your kid can't see that movie. That scene will give you fucking nightmares.
so I after this I'll send you. So I obviously knew it was coming, right? So I recorded him watching that scene. Right. So what happened was he turned around about 5 minutes beforehand, just after the Indianapolis speech, right? And when so he gives the speech and he's like, "I'll never put on a life jacket again," right?
Yeah.
And then the boat starts to go down, so he goes to get the life jackets for the lads, and he turns around to me and he's like, "So how many people have died in this movie?" And I was like, "5." And he's like, "Don't forget the dog." And I was like, "The dog didn't die. The dog made it." Right? Yeah, the dog doesn't make it. I'm 100% sure the dog doesn't make it. But right, and he's like, "Oh, okay, grand." Right? So we're sitting there, and Quint gets eaten, and he looks at me. He's like, "You lied to me. You told me 5 people died." And I was like, "They did die. You didn't ask me did anyone else die." He's like, "Why wouldn't you tell me that he was gonna?" You could see he was getting really annoyed with it. He obviously liked Quint.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you? He's like such an epic character in that movie, such a badass.
He's great, me.
Yeah, he's such a badass in that film. And I know those guys. I grew up in that area. So I know those type of dudes, and I know what
The actual shark fisherman.
so good, man. Such a great movie. Such a great movie.
Yeah. Right. I think that's a good place to live, Mike. I'd absolutely love to have you back on again.
Sure.
Um, if you have the time. Obviously, you're a busy man. Um, and when the festival movie runs, if you need someone to have a look at the film for you, you know where to go. I can give you about
Sure,
a
man.
hundred slashers if you want 100 slashers.
That's fine, dude. I already have thousands and thousands of DMs still going through.
Actually, do you know? Can you remember most of the ones that are sent to you?
No, I do because I've literally answered thousands and thousands of DMs. So no, I can't. I know what a majority of people have sent, and it's crazy seeing this many people's lists and actually knowing what people like and don't like. But
I'm going to ask you, have you got one, right, from the name Big Ed?
maybe I don't, dude. I don't know, man. Maybe.
No, if you didn't know, if you knew off the top of your head, Big
Oh, I
Ed
will.
from Mutilated in 1984.
Dude. I don't know, dude. So many, brother.
No, just off the top of your head, I wanted to throw it out there. It's one of my favorite films. So,
Cool. Cool.
um, yeah, we'd love to have you back on. Obviously, I'll get back on to you over the next day or two and let you know what I thought of 12 km.
Yeah, please do.
And best of luck with the festival.
Thanks.
Can't wait to check it out when it drops. Huge fan of David Dobbs matching as well. So he was
Yeah,
robbed of an Oscar nomination for Late Night with the Devil.
yeah, he's really great in that.
Yeah, robbed of an Oscar nomination. Don't think he should have won it, but he definitely should have got a nod for it.
Yeah, he was great in it. Yeah. So, yeah, man, you'll see it when it comes out. Anybody that's listening, make sure you follow me on Instagram at Mike Becci, and you'll see that stuff when it comes out, man.
Absolutely. And make sure to check out the podcast as well, because I know I have to.
Thanks,
I have
bud.
to go listen to Peter Storm here, because he's a beast.
Oh, you'll love the show. It's great.
Mike, appreciate you taking the time out of your afternoon to come on, or your evening time now.
Thank you, brother.
It's been a really fun chat. And yeah, so what I'll do, folks, is I'll leave this here the way I leave every single Friday night. In the words of the great George A. Romero, ladies and gentlemen, stay scared.